The president just sitting down with China's leader, the two talking at length about Iran's nuclear ambitions and agreeing to direct representatives to work on a sanctions resolution. The U.S. wants to see that resolution this spring, but with China holding a huge amount of U.S. debt, how much pull does the president really have to force the issue? Republican Congress McCotter says not much. Congressman, good to have you back. How you doing?
Hey, how are you doing, Neil?
You know, I'm fine. I guess we always feel kind of beholden to China. We walk on eggshells with them. We kind of beg, cajole to see if they go along because they hold so much of our debt, I guess. What do you make of that position we're in?
Well, I think it's a debt threat to the United States national security. We see it manifested when secretaries of states or other representatives of the administration go over to China and start to talk about human rights in a muted fashion, if at all. I think we see the problem in trying to get sanctions resolutions that actually will do something to stop the Iranian regime's pursuit of nuclear weapons out of the Chinese government. In short, Neil, what we continue to see is an inversion of the strategy that was successful to defeat the Soviet Union that was perpetrated by the Reagan administration, where now it is the Chinese economy which is considered to be on the rise rather than our own, and it is our indebtedness to them that makes it far more difficult for us to advance the cause of liberty and other strategic interests of the United States.
So what do we do? I mean, we'd like for them to go along. The history of politicians or even companies that have, challenged the Chinese, minus Google, that's it, right?
Yes, there seems to be a prevailing sense, especially amongst Europeans, that it's over for the Americans in the 21st century. I fundamentally disagree with that. We understand that our liberty precedes security and prosperity. The Chinese model is that your prosperity and security come from the government, and liberty is a threat to that. One of the things that we have to do is obviously get our own fiscal house in order. We have to stop making ourselves easy prey for massive deficits and debts that are put up there for other people to buy and to hold against us. I think we also have to recognize that Communist China is a strategic threat and rival model of governance against the United States and Western democracies that we're going to have to address for the generation to come. I think that these are fundamental blocks that have to be put forward as principles to guide public policy before we can get anywhere. And unfortunately, we continue to see a large segment of both the Democrats and the Republican Party that seem to forget this.
But why can't we call their bluff and say, you want to invest elsewhere, go ahead?
Well, I think the reason that we can't call their bluff is because they have actually, through the permanent normalization of trade relations with China, this massive trade deficit, the massive use of outsourcing of American jobs, and the accumulation of our debt through to, in many ways, our own insatiable appetite for government spending, that we have to get, again, Neil, our own house in order so that we can begin to diminish the ability and the fiscal and financial leverage that they have over us.
Good luck on that. You and I have chatted about that before. But in the meantime, this soap opera, right?
Yes, we chat about it, but I have ultimate faith that eventually the American people, and they are continuing to understand the threat that is posed by this regime, will continue to try to go towards a path where we can get our security and our prosperity back.
Let us hope you're right. Congressman, good seeing you again. Thanks for coming.
Nice seeing you, Neil.
Well,